Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a quick first impressions for you. We've had the Vosteed Racoon on the channel a couple of times already, but this is a new configuration both in the lock and the blade. And so very quickly, I'm not going to belabor this point because everyone is pretty familiar with this knife, but I did want to give you a good look at this particular version. If you're not familiar with the top liner lock, I do want to just quickly show you how this works. And so, actually, I might need a light for this because I don't think you're going to be able to see. Okay, so if you look at the back here, especially when I unlock the knife, you're going to be able to see a leaf spring right back here. There we go. So that leaf spring is probably familiar to many of you if you're watching this because it's essentially a compression lock. So the spring pops over, it's trapped between the blade tang and this stop pin, and that's just how a compression lock works. The only difference is instead of actuating the compression lock by grabbing the lock bar itself, you are pushing a button here, which then actuates the lock bar. All right, so for demonstration purposes, here is a pair of two. Let me lock and unlock this a couple of times. So you can see the lock bar back here is out of the way. When the knife opens up, it pops over into place. And now the tip of this bar is trapped between the tang of the blade and the stop pin. And the only way the knife can close is for me to move the tip out of the way so that the blade can now drop, okay? All that's happened on this knife is the lock bar is moved to the other side. So it would be essentially a left-handed pair of two. And a button is now pushing this lock bar instead of having this tab sticking up. All right. By the way, this is not the first time this has happened. This kind of configuration is also found on the Spyderco smock, on custom smocks. But before that, Blades We Love was doing it. They were taking left-handed pair of twos, in putting in this little button kit. You could either buy the kit for yourself and do it yourself, or you can buy directly from them already modified pair of twos that function with a button lock. And by the way, they are fantastic. There's a bunch of knives on there. The color configurations that they come up with are just gorgeous. And that's one of the things that I've been interested in for a long time, is picking up a Blades We Love pair of two. And maybe someday that'll actually happen. It's a little more difficult with things coming from the States being such a pain in the neck right now. In fact, it might be better to just buy the kit and have things shipped disassembled and put it together yourself. So everything else about this still pretty well stands from the previous versions of the Racoon. 14C28 and steel is great. This particular blade shape offers us lots of belly, not all that different from the drop point versions of this. Obviously, it's going to be more different than the sort of Wharncliffe variations. The other thing that I will note, in my initial review of this, I made the point that the G10 versions are nice and they feel pretty good in hand, but the aluminum version felt a little bit better. I would still stick by that. When I picked this up, there weren't, none of the colorways, in aluminum made a lot of sense to me. This all blacked out one was the most appealing, and so this is the one I went with. But there are aluminum versions in this configuration. It's just a matter of getting the right one, having the right timing and getting the right one. So we talked about the lock. The blade is a Bowie-shaped blade, very aggressive clip up here. But in terms of performance, it's going to be very much like the drop point, maybe a little bit more belly. Of course, a slightly finer, more aggressive tip, if that's something that you appreciate. And aesthetically, in terms of the looks of this, this looks a little more dramatic without a doubt. Okay, but performance-wise, it's going to be very, very similar. I doubt, if you could only touch the handle and you just closed your eyes and did some cutting, you probably couldn't tell the difference. I wouldn't put a blindfold on and try feeling the blade. That would probably result in bad things, but you're going to have a very very slight difference. All right, otherwise size, weight, all of that is still exactly the same. And so the one thing I will say before shutting this down is Vosteed, please make an XL Racoon. I really want to try this lock in a knife that I can be a little more enamored with because it fits my size. I'm aware of the PSYOP. The PSYOP, to me, the price does not make sense in terms of what they're doing right now. In Canada, the PSYOP is like $360, which is ridiculous. Well, I do like that design, and I really like Tough Thumb's stuff. Anyway, there's a lot that attracts me to the PSYOP other than the price is just off-putting for a Vosteed. Can't do it. So I'll look around on the secondary, and if I happen to get my hands on one, you'll know because you'll see it on the channel. Apart from that, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And Vosteed, again, I would love to see some budget configurations that have this same lock setup. If you want to do just a Racoon XL, that would be perfect. Okay, there you go, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will talk to you soon.